Okay, now I want to spend some time going over the frequently asked questions. These are questions that people have asked in the past or that I get more than once. And anytime somebody in class emails me, if I get more than one person asking the same question, I will answer it on the frequently asked questions board. I figure if more than one person has that question, then there are going to be even more people in the class that are thinking it. They just haven't bothered to reach out yet. So if you have a question on anything, check the FAQs board first. So there's two places you can get to it. If you go to this academic resources, I've got a link to the FAQs page there. Or if you scroll down underneath the modules, it's these blue butterflies. Okay, so the first thing you're going to see when we get to the FAQs board is this landing page with all these questions. And this gives you an idea of the types of questions that'll be answered. So you can either click on the correct category or just scroll through all of them in order, whatever you want to do. So let's start with the top 10 frequently asked questions. These are the ones that I always get. And so I tried to put them up front and center so they're super easy to find. Okay, so starting with what's your email address, fill out the email form first. That's the easiest way to get to me. You see, you haven't emailed me back. Yes. So there's a couple of reasons why I might not email you back. First, if you are asking a question that has already been answered a bunch of places, I'm not going to bother emailing you back. That's a waste of everybody's time. Please double check the instructions and the announcements and everything. I mean, I write so many things. I try to make it as clear as physically possible. So if you're asking something like, when is the quiz due? Or when is the podcast due? And I haven't changed the date. Yeah. If it's as easy as being in the syllabus, man, I'm deleting that off the top. You've been warned. Okay, so there's 1,000 places you can do that. The second reason I might not email you back is if you directly emailed me. Remember how I talked about my email is ridiculously full? I'll actually show you a picture of how many messages I have in my inbox in a little bit. You might have gotten lost. If it gets knocked past the first couple of pages, it can be just lost in the ether. So fill out the form. It's there to make sure that you get the answers you need in a timely manner. Okay, the schedule for this class. This is a fully online course, so the schedule is really up to you. I've given you an example schedule. Follow that or don't. It's up to you. Let's see. I didn't know I had to do reviews and back evaluations for the podcast. Hey, you have to do reviews and back evaluations for the podcast. So now you do. Go ahead. If you miss those, you can't make up points because of the way the software works. I can't reopen it. Okay. I didn't know it was in the honors section. If you are listening to this, you are in the honors section. You have to do the honors project. The end. Start now. Can I make an appointment with you? Just come to my office hours. I have office hours several times a week. Just drop in. You don't need to make an appointment. My office hours are listed online. Extra credit is listed online. I do not round up points. This is because I give so much extra credit. So I want to see that you're actually doing what you need to do to earn the grade you want. Extra credit is there for that reason. And let's see, I'm very upset about something. Here's the thing. I know it can be very, very stressful in the middle of a semester. Everything can get on top of you and all that stuff. If you're upset or stressed or whatever, just let me know or let a TA know. We're not here to trick you. We're not here to make your life a living hell. We're not here for any of that. I just want you to learn some stuff. If something is going on, come and talk to me about it. We will work something out. I will bend over backwards for you if I have to. So keep that in mind. Okay, so that's the top 10. Now, general course info. I'm really just going to go through some of the major ones here. This talks about when my office hours are. Are you going to contact the class outside of meeting times? I might. If I do, I'll put it up in the announcements or I'll send an email depending on what's the easiest way to get a hold of you. Okay, let's see. Grades. What are some important ones with grades? Let's see. What's your grade right now? If you want to know what your grade is right now, click on the grades link right there. Let's see. Now, when I submit your final grade to Howdy, I'm only submitting a letter grade. I'm not submitting a percentage. I'm not submitting points. So if you look at the grading scheme, I don't do minuses and pluses either. So if you have an A, you have an A. It doesn't matter if you have a 90% or 102%, you're still going to get an A. So if you are worried about missing 1 or 2 points at the end of the semester, and you have a 95, but you want a 97, nobody is ever going to know. And I tend to get a lot of these emails at the end of the semester, which is why I mention it here. It's people like, I missed 1 point on the exam, and that would bring me from a 98 to a 99 or something. Okay, whatever. Just don't worry about it. If you have a letter grade, you have a letter grade. So your total grade that you see at the end of the grades in your grade book, that's what's going to be uploaded to Howdy, the letter, not the number. So keep that in mind. Okay, now, if you want to know if you can still get an A or B in this class, if what you have to earn on the next assignment in order to pass the class with the grade you want, you should have all the information you need to figure that out. You know the total number of points in this class, you know what each assignment is worth, and looking at your grades, you know exactly what you have earned on the assignments up to that point. Take this information, put it into a spreadsheet, and figure it out. I've actually recorded for you a video right here on exactly how to do that. So use it. Okay, next, quizzes and exams. So I mentioned during the quizzes and exams section and on the syllabus that there are some known issues with quizzes and exams. I put those here. These are literally all the issues we've ever run into, just so you're aware that something might happen. So keep this in mind. Let's see. There's several types of quizzes on the syllabus. You've got your reading quizzes, your module or unit quizzes, and your exams. Those are all different. You need to take both your reading and your module quizzes each week, or else you won't earn your points. Let's see. Everything is due at the last day of finals. And again, you want to be very careful, because when a bunch of people get online trying to do a whole bunch of stuff all at once, that's when the system crashes. So after 5 p.m. on the last day of finals week, I'm turning off my email on my phone. And if you have an issue, I won't get it until the next day. Let's see. This covers what's on the quiz. Now, then these are all the problems. Things like your quiz froze. If it freezes and you reload, it's going to automatically submit. If that happens, try not to reload it, let it wait out. But if it happens, you can just fill out that contact form and we'll reset the quiz for you, so you won't be pulled down by that low average. Just try not to reload if you don't have to. Let's see. Oh yeah, here's all the spelling stuff. So here's the thing. On those fill-in questions, there is absolutely no way that I can accept every single possible spelling for a word. What I do is I put in the correct way it's spelled, and then the way, if I happen to misspell it in the textbook or on a slide, I'll put in that way too, because it's unfair to teach you how to spell it correctly if I can't hand that to you. And since I'm dyslexic, that's an issue. But there's not much more I can do after that. And with the sheer number of students in this class, we're talking nearly 800, and the number of questions you all have to answer, trying to go through each question one by one would mean that I would be doing that for the rest of my life. So you have to spell it correctly. Copy and paste. I've set that up specifically for this thing. If there are things that are commonly misspelled, I'll actually put them up somewhere on Canvas here for you, so you can copy and paste that, especially if it's something like species names. Yeah. But even if you get something with one letter wrong, then yeah, it's going to be counted wrong, because that's the way the system works. So even if it's really close, I can't go in for everybody. All right. Let's see. Yeah, if you have a question that you know you got right, but it got marked wrong, just click this incorrect question reporting form and we'll take care of it for you. Let's see. Can't find the answers to this quiz question. Remember, I'm pulling quiz questions from the book and from my lecture notes. So it's in both places. Double check that. If you missed a quiz or an exam, if you're missing a quiz or an exam and you have a university approved excuse, that excuse needs to be for the entire period that that quiz or exam was open. So in the cases of this class, it needs to be for the full semester. So yeah, if you just have it for one day, that doesn't count because you had plenty of time to do it otherwise. I don't give practice exams. You can read about why there. And then, this is another big one. If you end up submitting the quiz like 30 seconds after your 11:59 p.m. due date, I actually in the grade book get a thing saying, hey, this was turned in late. Don't panic. You're fine. If I can see that you were in the midst of doing it and you just sort of hit the button a few seconds after 11:59 p.m., great. If it was more than a few minutes afterwards, though, you're going to lose a couple of points because you turned it in late. So do not assume that it's going to auto-submit. Do not assume that it's going to automatically close. You have to submit it in order to get your points. Okay. Up next, I've already done emailing. I mean, emailing is pretty straightforward. Oh, yeah. So here is my inbox at this moment. So you see I've got 6,400 emails in my box. And this is before classes have even started. So this doesn't count all the number of students emailing me. This is why I have that form up. Because if you get lost in there, there is no way, unless I was lucky enough to catch you email me right away, that I'm going to find you. Things just get completely overwhelming in there. So keep that in mind. Now onto your assignments. This has some basic stuff. The reading assignments are what you're supposed to be reading for your chapters. For late assignments, it's going to be really hard to turn late assignments since most of the things are due on the last day of class and there's literally no more time. For the podcast, you can do the reviews late, but turning in the actual podcast itself late can't happen because it has to open for everybody to peer review. So, keep that in mind. Turn the stuff in on time. Extra credit, there's plenty of extra credit for you to do. You have a maximum amount of points that you can get for extra credit during the semester, though. So if you go over that point value, you won't get any more points. And I don't take any late extra credit at all for any reason, none whatsoever, simply because it's extra. So I can take other stuff, but not extra credit. Here's the frequently asked questions for the podcast. This is something I've gone over during the podcast video, so you should be good there. Here's some stuff with Peerceptive that'll tell you about how that works. Frequently asked questions for lectures. Each module, I have the PDFs of those PowerPoints for you already ready right at the beginning. So you can download those, take notes. So when you are listening to these videos, don't worry about frantically writing down the things that are actually on the slides. Instead, focus on what I'm saying. Write that stuff down. I've taught you how to put more than one slide per page here. All the video lectures are up right now, so you can go and do it. And if a video isn't working for some reason, this might be due to a bunch of people trying to watch the video on Canvas at the exact same time. I have loaded these videos to YouTube, so you can click through and actually watch them on YouTube, which tends to be able to handle a much larger number of people all at once. So I've done that on purpose for you so that you can get them at any point and watch them on any device. Now, these are just miscellaneous questions that don't quite fit somewhere else. If you're very upset, you need to talk to me. You're going to be okay. I am not going to trick you. I am not going to try to fail you. None of that. I'm going to do absolutely everything in my power to make sure that you do well in this class. So if you have something that's going on, come and talk to me. If something is happening with your computer or in your family life or in your personal life or whatever, come and talk to me. Just drop it in my office hours. We'll talk it out. It'll be fine. Okay, the syllabus. The most updated syllabus you can find is the one here on Canvas. I have to upload the syllabus to Howdy weeks before classes start, and every once in a while I get a last minute change, something happens, or in the case of COVID back in 2020, we had to completely change things halfway through the semester. The most up-to-date information is going to be here on Canvas. And then if you need to know how to take a screenshot, go right there. And then finally, I've got this list of things. These are specific questions that I got from students throughout the semester over the years that I had to answer, and now they're up here. Some of these may seem a little self-explanatory. I thought they were too, but somebody had the question, so now there's an answer. So here are some of the basics. If you don't do the quiz, if you don't do a quiz, you totally miss it, you're going to earn a 0 on it. but that 0 will not be inputted until after the quiz is due. I'm trying to give you the most amount of time. So by 11:59 p.m. on the last day of finals week, the computer will close everything out and automatically enter in zeros when you to all the assignments that you didn't get done. So while you don't see a 0 before 11:59 p.m., that's because it's not due yet. So if you don't do it, you're going to earn a 0, even if it was blank before. If you don't do an assignment, it's going to count against you. For some reason, the last couple of semesters that I've had people ask this, you have to do all the assignments, and if you don't do them, you're going to earn a 0, and it's going to count against you. So there we are. Let's see. How many points do you need to get an A? You know what the total points is. Just figure out 90% of that total. You want to Q drop the class? Sure. As long as you have a Q drop left, do it. Okay. I've had people ask me when all the finals are for all their other classes. I have no idea about your other schedule, and I don't want to give you wrong information about things. So if you ask me about something like, does this elective work for me? When are my finals? Will this count towards my major? I have no idea. This is something you need to go talk to your advisor about. Okay, let's see. I did all the questions, but I still got a low grade. How is it possible when I finished all the questions? Well, you actually have to get the questions correct on the quiz, on the exam, and on the reading questions in order to earn points for them. So get them right in addition to doing all of them. Let's see. I emailed you last night and early this morning. You haven't gotten back to me. Well, I go to bed sometimes. So I've had people, I know some people are big night owls. Other people have very different schedules. If you email me late at night and then again early in the morning, I'm probably still asleep. Give me time. And also remember that if you're emailing me, it's going to be lost in the middle of that thing. Let's see. You dropped by my office and I wasn't there. Yeah. This isn't my only class. So I teach a ridiculous number of courses each semester, and I'm the associate program chair of the FAQs program. And I'm an expert witness, and I do a lot of outreach and training, and I do research, and I have to write a bunch of papers, and I have to grade a bunch of papers. There's a whole bunch of stuff that goes into my job, not just this lecture and not just office hours. So if I'm not in my office, that means I'm doing my work. So if you try to stop by my office hours outside of normal office hours time, I may not be there. So you can check the class schedule. It's usually posted outside my office to see where and when I'm actively teaching and what I'm doing. In a normal semester, when we're doing in face-to-face teaching, I usually teach 8 hours a day. So I've worked these office hours into work around my schedule. Just try to work with me on that. If you call my office late at night, I'm not going to be there, so I won't pick up the answer. I've had people very upset about that. They've called me at midnight and wondered why I didn't answer because I came home. Let's see. If you need to meet with me, please make it at a reasonable time. I've had people ask to meet after 9 p.m., 10, 11. No, office hours. Come to my office hours. I didn't realize the assignment was due. Yes, you did. Check the syllabus. Check the schedule. I have it in a million places. Take it. Let's see. This is one that's interesting. I've had people over the past several semesters be taking the final, then come and ask me if the question was right or not. Well, it's the final. I'm not going to be able to tell you if it's correct or not. I'm trying to see if you know it. That's the point of the final. So unless there's some clarification you need, I can't tell you if you're answering the question right on the final. Let's see. I went back and fixed all the mistakes on the last assignment. Can you regrade it? I just do not have time to regrade every single assignment. That's an issue. I mean, it takes me hours and hours and hours as it is to grade the ones I may not have time. If you come to my office hours, we can go through it a little bit, but you won't be earning any extra points. It's already been due. Let's see. I swear I took the quiz or the exam. The grade just randomly changed. This is something that every once in a while might happen. When you have a computer-based course, weird things happen. It's a thing. What's nice about Canvas, though, is it keeps a log of where everybody signed in and when they signed in, where they clicked when they signed in. If you're taking a quiz, it'll show me if you clicked away from that quiz page, all manner of stuff like that. So if you are sure you took a quiz but you didn't take a screenshot of the ending. This is one of the reasons I ask you to take screenshots of the ending so that I can see that you've actually done it in case there's a weird computer error. But if you didn't take a screenshot, I can go into your log and see where you clicked. Every once in a while, you think you took a quiz or an exam, but it was really you missed one and you just remember taking a different one. And so I'll be able to see where you've clicked, what you've done, how long you spent in a certain amount of time, or sometimes like you'll open a quiz and then close it really quick. Because you meant to go back and then just forgot because it was in your head that you had taken it. I do this all the time. So I'll be able to say, oh no, you just opened it and then look like you were going to come back later and you just never did. That's why you remember going in there. So I'll be able to see all of that. That is the beauty of this. So we can cross-check everything for you. Okay, let's see. Do you have to go to the lab? Yes. How do you know what to do on the assignment? I've written out all those directions for you. When is registration for the next semester? And does this count as elective? All these things, again, ask your advisor. You'll be good to go. All right, so that is the basics of the frequently asked questions as they stand now. Again, as I get more questions this semester, if there's something that is unclear, I will make sure to add it to the proper place on the facts board. All right, that's all. Let me know if you have any questions.